Telangana. I want to go across to our political pundits joining us this morning to track the live trends. The BJP at this moment leading on 87 wards, the TRS on 33, the AIMIM on 17, the Congress on 2. We've got T.S. Sudhir with us, we've got Kingshuk Nag with us, we've got Javed Ansari and Kalyani Shankar. I want to go across to Sudhir first. 87 leads for the BJP, now a mix of initial trends from paper ballots and the overall trends from the postal ballots. What are you picking up from all your sources across the Hyderabad municipal area? How significant are these initial numbers? The BJP already, Sudhir, seems to be in a celebratory mode.
The BJP is in a celebratory mood because they obviously want to keep the morale of their cadre very high, Rahul. But yes, these are very, very early leads and really don't count for much, given that at least in many of the wards, it is predicted that there will be a neck-and-neck fight between the BJP and TRS and also between the BJP and the MIM in certain pockets in the old city. So just like what we saw in the Dubaka by-election last month, where there was a neck-and-neck fight. In fact, in the penultimate rounds, the TRS for 2 rounds actually went ahead of the TRS. The TRS went out ahead of the BJP, and then the BJP came back. So one is predicting that that kind of a scenario will play out in many of the wards in GHMC. So I wouldn't really pay much attention to these very, very early trends. But you asked one question to Kavita about the floods situation and how the TRS responded. In fact, many were surprised that KCR actually called for the elections so soon after the flood situation had not really been resolved in many parts of Hyderabad. And many would think that did he really make a mistake by calling the elections, because the GHMC tenure is till February 2021. The elections could have been held after Sankranti in the second half of January. So whether that was some kind of a calculation mistake by KCR in calling for elections so early. So that's one of the major talking points as far as the timing itself of the GHMC elections is concerned.
Let me put that same question to Kingshuk Nag, because there was a sense that we picked up from the reportage done by our correspondents on the ground that there was some resentment on account of the manner in which the flood situation was handled. How big a factor is that? And how do you think the TRS and KCR in particular is responding to the new challenge being posed by the BJP, which is determined to make inroads into Telangana?
I think this is a big factor, and KCR should not have held the elections at this time from his own point of view. The floods were quite devastating, and a lot of people were very, very angry because the government was not seen as responding. Of course, the fact was that it was a natural calamity, nothing that would have happened immediately. The fact that many Hyderabad's top-up plateau flood control system is different. It's got a string of lakes into which water flows. Now, due to the overpowering presence of the contractor lobby, a lot of construction has taken place. These roads have been, with pathways to the lakes have been locked, and as a result, a lot of flooding happened, and people are very angry. Now, why he took the decision, I can't say, but KCR is also a believer in astrology. So maybe the astrologer said that if you hold the elections now, it will be better for you.
He did advance the state assembly elections, which would have ordinarily happened along with the Lok Sabha elections. He advanced them 2018, benefited at that time. Will he benefit today? Sudhir and Kingshuk Nag both apprehensive about the answer to that question. The one other factor that's dominated the narrative in the campaign has been the BJP's demand to change the name of Hyderabad. They want to make it Bhagyanagar. Now, Kalyani Shankar, how much support is there for the demand raised by the likes of Yogi Adityanath, Home Minister Amit Shah, that let's change the name of Hyderabad? The idea is let's end the Nizami culture of old Hyderabad. Let's usher in a new, reformed Hyderabad. But how much traction is there for this issue in the city?
Rahul, the name Bhagyanagar is nothing new. You know, it has been there in Hyderabad. A section of the Hyderabadis had demanded that. So maybe that the BJP is taking forward, and that is one way of telling them, look, I'm with you, we are with you. So we will change the name, and as you rightly said, change the culture of Hyderabad also. But how many people would go for that? You know, just changing the name of a city is not going to benefit. You know, Chennai also, it used to be Madras earlier. They changed it to Chennai. Kolkata again, Kolkata. There are many cities they have changed. So this will be one of them. So I have a feeling that they're just trying to, pander to the people who demand a change.
No, but even if they are, of course they are, but does it have resonance, Sudhir, this demand for the name being changed to Bhagyanagar?
It never had, you
I
know.
think people largely are attached to the name of Hyderabad, and they would much rather prefer that the name, the position of the roads, the sanitation, the street lighting, the drainage system be changed instead of just the name. So in that sense, this kind of a demand is seen more as a cosmetic change. And on a lighter note, I mean, how many of us would really want Hyderabadi biryani to be called Bhagyanagar biryani, or Sunrisers Hyderabad to be called Sunrisers Bhagyanagar? But having said that, the BJP does realize that there is some percentage of the population that may really kind of buy into this kind of a demand. And it's not just the name that they are talking about. They are talking about the entire ideology, the entire narrative, in a sense that Hyderabad represents a particular culture, represents a particular ideology, the name itself. And Bhagyanagar used to be the name of the city before Hyderabad, the name was adopted in the 16th century. And therefore, it is time to turn the clock back. That is a larger narrative being played out as far as the name change controversy, the name change issue is concerned here in Hyderabad.
I want to show you some comments from the campaign trail, exchange between Tejasvi Surya, the firebrand BJP leader from Bengaluru who came to campaign as the Yuva Morcha Adhyaksh in Hyderabad, and Asaduddin Owaisi, whose writ runs over several patches of the old Hyderabad area near Charminar. So let's show you how this narrative is shaping up on the ground.
If you vote for Owaisi here, Owaisi becomes strong in Maharashtra. If you vote for Owaisi here, Owaisi becomes strong in Bihar. If you vote for Owaisi here, Owaisi becomes strong in a Muslim locality in Karnataka. If you support Owaisi here, Owaisi will become strong in Uttar Pradesh. And what does Owaisi mean? Who is Owaisi? Owaisi is Muhammad Ali Jinnah's new avatar. We must defeat him.
तुम्हारा मकसद एक ही है, हैदराबाद का नाम बदल दो, हैदराबाद में मजलिस को कमजोर कर दो। मजलिस की दुश्मनी में ये बल्दिया के इंतखाबात बीजेपी लड़ रही है। मैंने पार्लियामेंट में अल्लाह के नाम लेकर हमारे मुल्क की आईन पर हल्फ लिया। आज उस रुकने पार्लियामेंट को बीजेपी कहती है कि जिना है।
Javed, this idea of targeting Asaduddin Owaisi so aggressively and positioning him as the new Jinnah, and the point that Tejasvi made in that comment is that if you can beat Owaisi in Hyderabad, then his expansion plan in Maharashtra, in Uttar Pradesh, in West Bengal, in Bihar, all of that is impacted. That's the kind of probe that the BJP is launching against him.
You know, it just underlines how dear Jinnah is, how central Jinnah is to the BJP. You know, whether it was Mr. Advani, whether it was Mr. Jaswant Singh, and now, every time the BJP fights an election, it remembers Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And like somebody said on the panel in the beginning, that the Jinnah is spoken of more often during Indian elections than he's ever spoken of in Pakistan. You had sent me to cover the 2013 elections in Pakistan, and I never heard his name being uttered even once, never India's name. I don't know why the BJP is fixated. And the easiest thing in the world is to brand any minority leader a Pakistani or a Jinnah acolyte. Asaduddin Owaisi, I have a lot of issues with him. But you have to take your hats off. He went to Pakistan on Pakistani soil. He asked Pakistani parliamentarians and politicians to shut up and not interfere in the internal affairs of India and not to try and shoot from the shoulders of Indian Muslims. How many BJP leaders have done that? So the easiest thing in the world is to blame a Muslim to be being pro-Pakistani. Mr. Amit Shah once said, and I mean, why are we surprised? Mr. Amit Shah once said that if Nitish Kumar wins in the 2015 elections, he said that, I was covering it, that if Nitish Kumar wins, firecrackers will be burst in Bihar. So, I mean, you know, in cricket there's an adage, when in doubt, play forward. For the BJP, when in doubt, take Jinnah's name.
Does this work on the ground? The TRS had 44 wards last time, Sudhir. Is there a possibility that if there is a counter non-AIMIM consolidation, that the BJP could start making inroads there, as they have, for example, in Kishanganj or the Simanchal area of Bihar, where everybody else came together? You had the RJD and the AIMIM fighting largely for the Muslim vote. the other communities got together, voted for the BJP, and the BJP did better than anybody could have expected it to do in Simanchal.
Well, I've looked at some of the data, Rahul, of some of the exit pollsters, and they're talking of at least half a dozen wards in the old city area of Hyderabad where they expect the BJP to actually do pretty well in this GHMC election. So that will definitely be a gain from the BJP's point of view. But taking off from what Javed just now mentioned, I believe that Owaisi is very central to the entire BJP political strategy. Just take the example of how they kind of played it out here in the GHMC elections. Now, BJP was essentially trying to attack KCR by attacking Owaisi, because KCR, remember, with his habit of doing a lot of yagnas, a lot of pujas, etc., is actually much more of a ritualistic Hindu than many BJP leaders. So they obviously cannot attack him directly because he would actually come out. In fact, the TRS had put out pictures of him doing all those yagnas. But by talking about his close friendship, his close affinity with the MIM and the Owaisi brothers, they basically want to create doubts in the minds of the people, especially the Hindu electorate, that this Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao is actually trying to be secular, is actually very close to the Muslims by his friendship with Owaisi and not really a true Hindu. So they basically want to create these kind of doubts in the Hindu electorate's mind, and that's really the strategy. So when they attack Owaisi, they're really trying to attack KCR, and over a period of time, as we have seen in West Bengal, as we are seeing in Odisha, as we probably will see even in Tamil Nadu, the idea is really to take on the prominent regional party in every state and pitch themselves against the regional party, so making it completely bipolar.
I'll slip into a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more to talk about.